Dollar Tree and we're gonna do a challenge. We're gonna see if I can create a realistic baby using only items from the dollar store. Let's go. I was quickly informed at the dollar store that I'm not supposed to be recording there, so I just took like snapshots of everything that I grabbed. I grabbed some Mod Podge, some sponges. I wanted all the acrylic colors, but they had tempera in the main like basic colors, which I was looking for primary colors and I could not find them in acrylics, but I do have some at home. Hopefully if you guys are going to do this video, you can find some here. Now here I'm just showing you how cute the baby stuff is at the dollar store. Anyways, back to what we are looking for. I needed some sand and I found only red, but that's okay. I prefer white. And then I needed some little cotton or just like filling. So I went with this little monster. I also needed socks. I could not find a cute doll at the dollar store, so I found this one on Amazon for $11. So here is everything that I got. I did get an extra body, which is kind of cheating because this was at a doll site, but I will give you guys links to everything in case you actually want to make this exact doll. But it's just an idea to give you guys like a fun thing to do and just to challenge myself to see if I could make it happen. So here I am. First thing I'm going to do is deassemble this doll. This is what her body currently looks like and I don't like it at all. So I'm going to just take it all apart, taking off the zip ties first. And actually this part was super hard, you guys. I could not take off the limbs, so I ended up, after trying every single thing in the world, I ended up just cutting them. And so this is obviously not a professional way of doing it, but this is just what I did because I needed to get along with my project. This is what the body looked afterwards, and this is what the limbs and the head looked like when I was getting ready to get started. I thought that it was a great starting point, so I went ahead and used some of this nail polish remover and a cotton swab to take off the paint. This step in reborning is called stripping the doll, and it is pretty easy to do if you're using acetone, but then afterwards you're going to want to wash your baby and dry it really good before you start. Then I'm going to show you guys how I customize my sponge. I just like pinch them, and then I wanted to make like a really cool texture. So this is what I ended up with. And now I'm going to actually start with the undertones. So for my undertones, I like to do a blue that has a little bit of yellow. So this is what I came up with eventually. And I like it when it's like a deep teal. So with undertones, we're going to be doing everything that is like blue or teal undertones and veins. Again, you guys, this is not meant to be a professional reborning video. This is just like a fun thing that you can do. And I just want to show you guys that anybody can do this if you want to, and if you want to be patient enough to actually do everything that you need to do. So this is how I do the veins. You go in very gently and you form this kind of Y shape. You can also be creative and like look at your own veins and see how they look and try to recreate that. You want to make sure you do the veins first so that everything else that you do on top of it, it just gives the skin dimension. Also, one thing I will say, this was my very first time using acrylics. I have only ever used Genesis heat set paints in the past. So this is my very first time making an air dry doll. What I found was that it is actually a lot less forgiving than Genesis because things dry really quickly, so I had to work really fast. So if you are gonna do this project, I suggest really watering down your paint so that it's easier to build up and not having to like make mistakes and then having trouble removing the paint, because once it's on there, it is gonna be on there. Then I went on to add veins to my baby's head, and I do this little Y thing again on top of the eye, and then I stretched it onto the top of the head. I just like make up veins. If you want to be more precise, you can look at like charts of the way that veins actually show up in a baby's head. But like I said, I've been doing this for a while and I always kind of do my signature few. I'm not about anything like being super perfect. I just enjoy the process and I like having fun. So here I am adding like a little bit of blue undertone in the bridge of the nose. I like to add this little undertone color and everywhere where the head kind of dips in. So in this little bridge here, I'm also going to add it to the sides of the head and also to the sides of the mouth. And just anywhere that you see kind of like it going in, that's where I add this tone. And again, you guys want to make sure that you are working fast. So you put a little bit of your wash and then you immediately remove it with your sponge. Remove any excess so that it doesn't pool, okay? This is the main thing that I noticed painting with air dry clay or acrylic clay is that, I mean, not clay, paint, is that it does pool very easily and it does dry very quickly. So you want to work quickly, but also patiently, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that's confusing. I spent quite a bit of time doing the undertones on this baby because I love to give my babies dimension. And so I found that doing the undertones is a really good way of doing that. There is a point when you're doing undertones that you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, it looks like a monster. But you really must, at this point, trust the process because it really does have to be there. I do tend to go kind of darker with my undertones. I've noticed that a lot of people, but I just like the depth like being obvious. Then I did some undertones on the limbs and I just put like in the middle of the foot a little bit of that same color. I didn't do too much undertones on the limbs. I just kind of did that. And then I went in and added a little bit more water to my teal wash so that I could do like a mottling layer. And so this is the very first layer that I'm going to do. Just take off the excess on a paper towel and I'm going in and just modeling all the skin. I did the same thing with the limbs, making sure that between layers it is very dry. You guys, this took a lot of layers, but I'm only doing one layer of this blue. Another thing I want to say is make sure that you are washing your paintbrush in between layers. Next, I wanted to do kind of like a fleshy layer, so I did a little bit of pink with this orange, and this is what it looked like. I went in with these sponges that I got at the dollar store, and I did so many layers of this color, you guys. I'm not even showing every single layer that I did because this video would be like 4 hours long. Okay, this took me quite a bit of time. I think it took me from start to finish probably like 4 hours. It's not a fast thing to do. You got to be patient. You got to wait of things, you know, you got to make sure things are nice and dry before you get started. But I did do, I think 3 or 4 of this fleshy tone layers. And then after that, I decided to go in with a red layer. Now, the reason why I normally do the primary color, which is a layer of blue, a layer of yellow, and a layer of red. But at first, I was just trying to use the colors I found at the dollar store, but I realized that's very silly because you guys are probably going to find primary colors at the dollar store just because I didn't see it at my dollar store. I did give myself permission to use the colors that I actually wanted to use. So here I'm showing you the importance of like looking into the details and making sure that your paint doesn't pool. I was using the paintbrush to kind of take out any extra paint. Here I am going with another layer of that fleshy tone just to make sure this baby comes alive a little more graciously. So I'm just putting like a little excess paint with the sponge and then quickly taking it off with my makeup sponge. This is what we were looking at. I decided I definitely need red. So like I said, I gave myself permission and I went ahead and started adding the red. And this part can be super scary because like I said, it dries quickly. So it was a very thin wash, but it was still staining pretty strongly. So I went ahead and I think I did 3 layers of this red wash, if I'm not mistaken. And then I was pretty happy with the way that it was looking after 3 layers of red. But you guys, this is something that you're going to have to just use your best judgment, and you will get better as you do more. If you enjoy this type of content, please let me know because I would love to know if you guys have more questions. I am not a huge fan of doing tutorials because I feel like I'm not a very good teacher. I like to say like, just do what I do kind of thing. It's hard for me to explain what I'm doing, but I did do a lot of layers. I think of the red one, I ended up doing 3, if I'm not mistaken, making sure that you're taking off all excess so that you don't have like clumps of paint or like too much of a color. Then I went in with yellow and then I quickly removed it because it was very, very strong, even though I thought it was pretty washed out. But anyways, I added a lot of yellow and then I was taking it off with the sponge. When I say taking it off, like you want to just kind of pounce it. You don't want to take everything off. You still want it to hold some of the paint. But I actually loved this skin tone that we arrived at. So I started doing details with the red. At this point, you guys, this was taking a really long time, so I did do a lot of the details off camera, but basically what I did was going in with this red, and I would just like highlight the areas where I would think would be red on a baby. And mind you, I've done this before. This is not my first baby that I've painted, obviously, but if you guys are just starting out, you guys can look at baby pictures for reference, or if you have a baby near you, you can look at where the red concentrates. And so that's what I try to do. I just add, actually one thing that I do want to say was I was actually painting here with like a little less washed out color. This was actually pretty concentrated red, if you can see what I mean. It wasn't so much of a wash. I don't think I showed that. Anyways, here I am adding a little bit more detail to the hands. I wanted to make sure that there was like definition and like cute little redness. I added some cheeks. I always love to blush my baby's cheeks. I know some people are not a big fan of like super blush cheeks, but I do. I love them. And then I went in to color the lips. This is my absolute favorite part. Once I get the boring part of like the layers and the building of the skin done, I love doing this part. I did skip ahead, so don't kill me. And here I am drawing some little eyebrows on him. I decided that he is a boy, actually, not a girl. And one thing that I do want to say is that after you are done painting, you want to make sure that you seal your paint with Mod Podge. I heard that you can use Mod Podge matte, which is the one I found at the dollar store, and you can add a little bit of cornstarch to make it a little more silky. But you guys, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I did not do that. I was super tired and I wanted to finish this video. I just wanted to assemble my baby because he was looking so cute. I definitely think he's a boy. I went ahead and added some sand. By the way, I don't recommend not sealing your paint, okay? I fully recommend sealing your paint with the Mod Podge before. But anyways, I added the sand, then I put some of the stuffing in there. And next what I'm going to do is put some sand on this, like inside this sock, and tie a knot on it so that it's kind of like a little weighted bag. And I'm going to insert this little weighted bag inside of the body. So this is what it looks like when I was done with that. It was just like a little baggie that was full of sand. And here I am putting it inside the body. And then I'm putting cotton or like this little filling stuff all around it. This is another preference thing. I love floppy babies, so I don't like to overstuff my babies, but this is completely up to you. Then I went ahead and I attached the head using this slip ties. And you guys, look at my baby. He came out so cute. I was so excited. Then I went outside to capture him in some natural lighting. And this is what the body ended up looking like. The body's not a perfect match for him. I feel like he looks a little stubby. But you guys, I'm so happy with the way this turned out. Here is the official before and after. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you are going to be trying this project. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. Bye.